Yeah, so welcome back to this series. So here is the reasons why I advocate for Jenkins in some of the architecture that we are going to do in our next tutorials. Yeah, so here is a production grade microservice focus comparison of Jenkins versus GitLab CI/CD. This is distilled for real-world backend systems using Python, Spring Boot, Docker, React, Laravel, Kubernetes, and stuff like that. So if you're that person who uses such technologies, this then will interest you. So Jenkins in a microservice architecture. So why Jenkins? So first, Jenkins is tool agnostic and extremely flexible. So it works with SCMs like GitLab, GitHub, Bitbucket, and name them. So many of them will have a high integration power to Jenkins. So that's one of the advantages. It integrates with any cloud or any registry or any orchestrator. Say if you want to use Docker, if you want to use GitLab registry, whichever kind of registry that you're having to that you're using to host your images, you can easily use or integrate Jenkins into them. Also, ideally for polyglot microservices like Java, Node, PHP, Python, so running in any other platform, they can easily be ideal. So Jenkins will be very ideal for such applications. So number two, it's very mature in terms of the ecosystem. So like over 1800 plugins there for Jenkins, like Kubernetes, Helm, Argo CD, Docker, Trivy, SonarQube, Kafka, RabbitMQ, Vault. So you can easily get plugins for all these to support your integration, or rather your ecosystem integration into Jenkins. And also it's very easy to build enterprise grade pipelines for enterprise and big systems or big microservice architecture. So also it has strong complex workflow. So it's best for multi-repo orchestration if you have very many repos. And also it has shared libraries that you can use within your ecosystem. It also provides conditional deployments wherever you want to use that. And also it has blue or green and canary deployments. Depending on the use case, you can have multiple environments, multiple deployments just based on your need. And also it has declarative pipelines. So you just, in the Jenkins files, you just declare, it has that declarative whereby you just declare that within your Jenkins file, you declare all those actions and stuffs that you want them to be done. So also it has full infrastructure control. That is self-hosted and full control over the runners or agents that you're using. It also, you can do security hardening on itself because it's self-hosted, and then network access, be it on-prem, be it private VPN, you can easily set up your network access via this. So it's very critical for regulated industries like fintech, telco, government systems and stuff like that, because it's very easy to follow up on your pipeline and also harden your security within the same. And also it has full control over your runners and stuff. So no surprises after that. Then finally, it scales well with Kubernetes. So Jenkins plus Kubernetes plugins, they make up an feral agents per build, and also it has auto-scaling pipelines. So you can easily create those two, very much important in this environment. And also finally you can, it has a very excellent, or rather is very excellent for large microservice fleets. If you have 20, 40, 30, 100 microservices running, it's very easy for you to do that. So what are the cons? So ideally everything that has goodies also has some cons, so it's upon you to just weigh out. So one of the cons is high operational overhead. To maintain Jenkins, you need a Jenkins server, you need a plugin, rather plugins to do the same. You need to also cater for upgrades and stuff like that on your own. Also, you need to take backups at some point just to enable reliability. And so very, or rather poor maintenance will mean occasional instability, or rather it will be very prone to dying in terms of, so the system wouldn't be very reliable if you're having very poor maintenance strategy set behind. So also plugin dependency risk. So you can find plugin conflicts like what you're experiencing with other CMSs and stuff like that. You find that at times during your upgrades or downgrades, you'll literally find some plugin conflicts, which will take you hours and hours to solve them. So that's also a risk. And also breaking changes after upgrade. You can upgrade your system, but then after that you get some breaking changes. And also there's security vulnerability. If these upgrades are not well patched, or maybe the hardening is not well done, we can still have vulnerability around the same. Finally, security is do it yourself. So you find that things like hardback, secrets, credential, that need to be very carefully set up and carefully kept, or rather encrypted. So this means it's on you to do it yourself. And also a misconfiguration can easily expose credentials. So this is much of a pain. And finally, we have slow onboarding in terms of it has a steeper learning curve for new teams or new developers or new DevOps. It has a very steep learning curve. And also pipeline DSL is powerful but verbose. So you find all these are some of the challenges. But let's see, why do I still advocate for that? So if we do a one-on-one comparison between Jenkins and GitLab CI/CD, you'll find that in terms of setup and maintainability, yes, Jenkins is heavy, but then you'll get the result if you're doing an enterprise grade system. But if you're doing a startup, then this is GitLab CI/CD is nice because it's lightweight. Within one file, you can just get your pipelines up and running. Also, in terms of flexibility, so Jenkins has very high flexibility. As opposed to GitLab CI/CD, as I highlighted above, in terms of you can easily scale out, or rather easily scale out your deployment or your auto deployments if you did them in Jenkins as opposed to if you did them in GitLab CI/CD. Microservice autonomy. So this one now in Jenkins, it requires discipline and following all those set standard and stuff like that, and that is also a bit of a pain. Not that for Jenkins you find that it's very easy to just have autonomous deployments, or rather autonomous microservices, as opposed to Jenkins. In terms of complex pipeline, Jenkins is the best in class, while GitLab CI/CD give us some limited, like what I showed you in my previous tutorial. It has some limitation. And for dev security ops, so we have plugin. It's plugin based. You can do some plugins like the Sonar scans and those integrations to do with the number of plugins that you can have to boost up your security. But then for GitLab CI/CD, at least it's built-in, so that's an advantage over Jenkins. In terms of scalability, this is Kubernetes native. That's Jenkins, but still GitLab has it's cloud native, so at least in that we are safe on both ends. And then in vendor lock-in, so there's none of a vendor lock-in in terms of Jenkins, because you can shift from various ecosystem. You can shift to GitHub, you can go to Bitbucket and stuff like that. But for GitLab CI/CD, you can only use them within GitLab. Yeah, so also the learning curve is steep for Jenkins, and for GitLab CI/CD at least is much gentle for even a new or rather a beginner or someone who is new to this. So when to choose what in terms of real world systems? So Jenkins, if you have many microservices, like a lot of microservices, you have multiple repository or your sources in multiple repositories, not just one monolithic repo. Then Jenkins is the best for you. Also, if you have different stack, people are doing some system on different languages, others Python, others Java, others doing it in JavaScript or Node, others are doing it in Laravel, PHP and stuff. Jenkins will really make a step, or really throw you up to the next step on this, as opposed to GitLab. Also, if you need an advanced deployment strategy, whereby you need to check things like security, you need to do stuffs like code reviews within your pipelines, you need to harden up your security, you need to do network orchestration on the same stuffs, like those advanced deployments or requirements will be highly are supported by Jenkins. So this is very much advocated if you're doing enterprise grade systems. And also we have centralized pipeline governance, so you can have a team to govern these pipelines very easily, other than just having it independently in different repos. Also, full infrastructure control. You can easily do these on Jenkins because you can just maintain it through Jenkins server. So you can do all that, plus even shipping logs and stuff like that. So you'll really have some good control. And also, finally, if you operate in an enterprise or regulated environment, then this is good because you can literally manage everything and you can see it from inside out. For GitLab is good. CICD is very good in terms of if you're just doing a very fast setup. Let's say if you're in a startup or stuff like that and you want to ship your MVPs very fast, or even you might be in an enterprise but you want to have an MVP to run in a week or so, you can still try to practice or rather use GitLab CICD. Also, it has low maintenance in terms of you don't need a server or spin up a server, dependencies, fix, patch out the plugins, do upgrades on your server and stuff like that. All that is done within GitLab, so it has very low maintenance cost or overhead cost in that. Also, it's simple and readable in terms of you can just have one file, .cicd.yaml file, that you can easily just read through and maybe patch where there's an issue, or maybe patch it to do whatever you want it to do. So it's very simple and readable, and this one also speaks to the gentle learning curve. Next is, if you value built-in security, then GitLab is for you. If your microservice, you want to have that microservice ownership. If you value that, then different teams or different people are owning the microservices themselves and maintaining everything, starting from spinning it up and having it shipped to prod, or rather running on prod, then this is for you. Also, if you value GitLab as a single DevOps platform, then this will be a better option for you as opposed to Jenkins. And also, if you have a small to medium team or just a startup that you're coming up, you don't need all these complications to do with Jenkins, all these sophisticated plugins and stuff like that, and spinning up these overhead cost of spinning up this server. You can just easily go for GitLab CI/CD. Yeah, so that's my personal view. And also, together with this, there's a production reality that in terms of what many companies do today, you'll find that they use Jenkins for orchestration, and then they'll use GitLab for CI, that is continuous integration. So GitLab CI will just do the build and testing of the microservices, but then when you come to deploying it, or rather the orchestration, then Jenkins will do the environment promotion, it will do the release orchestrations, and also it will do like cross-service deployments. So this hybrid kind of system, using the two, it will give you speed and also it will give you power. If you have any comment, put them down there on put the comment there if you have any question or any other thing, and also you can contact me via this email so that we check into this. But that has been my thought. This is why for right now I'm now spinning up my Jenkins server as opposed to GitLab CI/CD, just depending on those items that I have highlighted. So that has been my insight. Let me know what you feel, and see you on the next one. Bye bye.